Hello, I'm Gina Adams, and I'm a contemporary Indigenous hybrid artist. When I was a small girl, my Ojibwa grandfather took me to a still body of water and tossed a pebble into it. He said this pebble and its ripples are similar to the choices that I would make in my life. You have the power to create change with each ripple. Everything you do that is good can have a positive effect on everything and everyone around you. My grandfather was sent to Carlisle Indian Boarding School in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. This school was started by the U.S. government in 1867 and was open until 1918. It was a forced assimilation boarding school that aimed at annihilating the Native American Indian culture and identity out of its children. The founder, Richard Henry Pratt, created the slogan, "Kill the Indian, save the man." By the year 1900, there were more than 320 of these boarding schools in the United States. The last one to close was in 1993. I am a research-based artist who looks to museum photographic and anthropologic archives, which I then create bodies of artwork out of. Here I have embedded a very old photograph under encaustic so that the viewer can no longer see the identity of the person, nor can they create stereotypes of who they are or the culture they come from. Alongside it, I have created a coil pot, which was made in my studio while asking my 3,000-year-old ancestor to help me make a good pot. It is very necessary for me to be able to change each medium for a body of work based upon my research, which are based on the ideas and my inherited cultures. This installation is called Survival Zebwibwin. It means double survival. I learned how to traditionally brain tan deer hides, and I stretched and then sewed them onto my familiar dwelling of a backpacking tent. 3 are representing, signifying a community or village. They are on their sides to suggest that an event has just occurred. I wanted to create my own installed situation in order to speak of and heal my inherited trauma. My series, Broken Treaty Quilts, came out of a need to create a body of work that would educate people about the treaties that were forced upon the Native Americans by the United States government. I created this body of artwork from an NBA regulation basketball to talk about racism. If you are a good athlete, you are instantly assimilated into popular culture and accepted no matter who you are or where you come from. Being a good athlete can come with university scholarships, health and well-being, and skills of mentoring youth that can be brought back to our community. This is my great-great-grandfather Wabanekwa, who was the first chief of White Earth Reservation when it was formed by the U.S. government in 1864. He was one of the signers of the Treaty of the Chippewa, 1867. This is Mishugijikuk, my great-great-uncle and Wabanekwa's brother. He was also one of the signers of the Treaty of the Chippewa, 1867. This ancestor is Mishugijikuk's son, who was named Rebel in the Smithsonian Archives in Suitland, Maryland. In 2016, I was a SARF Fellow, which means Smithsonian Artist Research Fellow, and I found my ancestors' images on glass slide negatives. These photographs were taken by a cultural anthropologist in the late 19th century. After accidentally finding my ancestors' images in the Smithsonian Archives, I was so elated that I wanted to elevate their images to honor them. I created a series of digital beadwork prisms by using the color of the beadwork from the Smithsonian Archives and placing it in a pattern that resembled the 19th century photography studio carpets in the original photographs. This is Wabanekwa, this is Mishugijikuk, and this is Rebel. At the Kohler Arts Industry Residency, I wanted to learn new material skills and do materials research. I sculpted my ancestors' likeness from the Smithsonian photographs. My dear friend and ceramic sculptor Jamie Bates Sloan was my assistant on the project. It was like moving heaven and earth in my heart while seeing my ancestors come to clay flesh life again. This is Wabene Kwa. This is Mishukijiguk. And this is Rebel. I made small medallions of my ancestors that are both wearable and to be exhibited. The experience of being a Kohler Arts industry resident was incredible. It allowed me to learn new skills in complex mold making and the perfecting of slip-casted objects that I would not have learned elsewhere. My work as a contemporary Indigenous hybrid artist takes on many forms. The bodies of work need to change. The mediums need to shift in order to say clearly what I wish the viewer to understand. This history is not just about me. It's also very complicated. It's about millions of people in the United States who are also descendants from this complicated history of assimilation and annihilation. Gigawabamin Minoga Miigwech. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you again.